What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming, guys, another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the aftermath, Week 13, the Chicago Bears coming into Ford Field, playing our Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day game. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, to all my American friends and family. Hope you guys had a good one. Hope you guys were safe. And started off, sorry that I didn't get to the preview for this game. I wrote it all out. Something came up, unfortunately, and I couldn't get to it. I wanted to do it Wednesday. I was waiting for a couple more things. Something came up, and then I just couldn't get it done. It's the first time that happened this year. First time it happened in a while, actually. I think it might have happened a couple years ago, too. But I try to get these previews and the aftermath out kind of last minute, usually, because I like to wait on things because there's always later news. And unfortunately, with an early game, I waited a little bit too long, and some things came up. But sorry about that, guys. I did predict the Lions win, anyways. I think I was going to say, I think I said 30-20. That's basically what I said, 30-20. So it was fairly close, I guess. But this game looked like it was going to be a blowout, guys, right away. Got a big lead on them. Not a big lead, but a nice, comfortable lead, I thought. And then the Bears made a comeback, man. Second half, it was night and day. It looked the complete opposite of what that Houston game was. Houston, we played better in the first half. We played terrible in that first half, and Houston played really well in the second half. I thought there was a lot of similarities there with the Chicago Bear game. A couple blunders happened with the Bears. They had their rookie quarterback, I thought, at the end of that game, not calling a timeout, trying to get into field goal range, coaches on the sidelines, somebody called a timeout. I don't understand what they were trying to do there. They let it happen, and we came out victorious. They could have at least tried to kick it, with the field. They weren't in field goal range, Santos's field goal range, at the moment, but not even attempting it, not even trying to get a first down, not using our last timeout was just bizarre to me. It's just the way the Chicago Bears season's going. But that team is not a bad football team. Their record doesn't say their record doesn't really reflect of that team. Yeah, that record doesn't reflect of actually what they're about. They seem like a better team than that. They got some guys on there. But let's go to the injuries right away. There's some injuries and actives. The Bears, they had running back Roschon Johnson, who got hurt during this game, had a concussion. And they had guys like offensive guard Ryan Bates with a concussion, DB Elijah Hicks, more of a safety, with an ankle. And those guys were inactive. They were fairly healthy coming into this ball game. And we were already banged up. You guys know all of that. You guys know all about that. We're a really banged up team, and it didn't get any better following this game. Now with the Lions defensive end, Josh Pascal got hurt, knee injury. D lineman Levi Nuzurike with the hamstring. D lineman rookie Makai Wingo had a knee problem going on. He did wear a brace, according to Dan Campbell, a little bit later on in that game. Nose tackle DJ Reader had a shoulder injury that happened. Left tackle Dan Scripper had a torso injury. Cornerback Khalil Dorsey had an ankle injury. Defensive end Zadarius Smith had some cramps. He was in and out a little bit later in that game. And safety Brian Branch had some ankle problems coming out of that game. And then Malcolm Rodriguez was the big one with a knee, ACL, whatever it was. He's done for the year. So now that is literally 4 or 5 linebackers. Barnes, Anzalone, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, and now Rodriguez. So it's 4, right? I think I got that right. 4 linebackers. The only one standing is Jack Campbell. We've had to bring in all kinds of guys. It's nuts. I'm right there, right? Barnes, Anzalone, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Malcolm Rodriguez. I think it was just 4. I think it's just the 4 guys. That's wild. Done. Anzalone's done until the end of the year, hopefully playoffs. Barnes, I don't know when he's coming back, if he's ever coming back. I heard Jalen Reeves-Maybin's soon to be back. And then we're not getting Rodriguez for the rest of the year. I don't think playoffs are completely out of the picture too. So this linebacking unit is thin, paper thin. And we picked up Quan Alexander today. I'll probably make a video on that, maybe talk about him a little bit. It's not a bad signing. He is a guy that's been on the practice squad in Denver. He's 30 years old. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But no, we Holmes is trying. Holmes is trying. But let's go to the stats. Bears offense. They were the road team. Quarterback Caleb Williams. He was 20 for 39. Not even 50%. Let's say 48, 49% completion percentage. 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, sacked 5 times. He didn't look great in this football game in the first half. Looked much better in the second. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But you can see that he's a rookie, the ups and downs. But he played very, very well in the second half of that football game. Rushing, quarterback Caleb Williams, a rookie, had 4 carries for 39 yards and 9.8 yards a carry. Running back DeAndre Swift had 11 carries for 39 yards and a 3.5. We held these guys at 78 yards rushing. Again, an elite run defense. They didn't do much. Run the football. Receiving, wide receiver DJ Moore had a nice day. 8 catches for 97 yards, a touchdown, 12.1 yards per catch, 16 targets. They were really trying to get him the ball. Wide receiver Keenan Allen, 5 catches, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14.6 yards a catch on 8 targets. Running back DeAndre Swift, 2 for 35 and 17.5 a catch. The only 2 wide receivers that did any real work were Moore and Allen. They had big days. Rome Odunze didn't do much. Couple catches, 2-3 catches, whatever he had. Now defensively, safety Kevin Byard III had 10 tackles and a pass deflection. Safety Jonathan Owens, who came in to start, I think this game, 8 tackles, pass deflection. Defensive tackle Jervon Dexter Sr. had 7 tackles, tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit, and a sack. Linebacker TJ Edwards had 5 tackles. Quarterback Tyreek Stevenson had 5 tackles, pass breakup, and a forced fumble. Cornerback Terrell Smith had 4 tackles and a PBU. Cornerback Kyler Gordon, 4 tackles and a pass breakup as well. Defensive tackle Byron Coward had 4 tackles and a tackle for loss. Linebacker Jack Sanborn, 4 tackles, quarterback hit, and a half a sack. Defensive end DeMarcus Walker, 3 tackles, quarterback hit. Defensive end Darrell Taylor, 2 tackles, 1 quarterback hit. And defensive end rookie Austin Booker, 1 tackle and a half a sack, sharing that with Sanborn. Made a couple plays on defense. Gave a couple fits to the Lions in that first half. Played pretty well in the second half too, that defense in Chicago. They are a nice defense. They do have some pieces. The Lions offense, quarterback Jared Goff was 21 for 34, 61% completion percentage. Never mind. 61 completion percentage, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Even Sewell, they had him in the quarterback category, but they were trying to do some trickery. They threw him the ball. He was set to pass the ball, but there was nobody there, and he was just throwing guys around like a little child. It was actually kind of funny. Crowd got into it. He lost a yard. He was sacked, according to ESPN on the box score. He was sacked in a QBR of 1.9. So it looks like Sewell wanted to throw the ball. I don't know who he was throwing to. I didn't see who was downfield running a route. Might have been JMO. I don't remember. I couldn't really tell. Even seen the preview, it doesn't really show who it was. At least I didn't realize who it was. But he just, he saw that the guy wasn't. At least he didn't throw a pick. He didn't see the guy open, tucked the ball away. He tried to get positive yards. He almost made a couple yards. He actually, he got stopped way in the backfield. He was just ragdolling guys. There's a video out there of him just face planting a Chicago Bear. It was actually kind of funny. But they did lose a yard on it, and he was sacked. He was considered sacked. So whoever got the sack for that, I don't really remember out of the Bears defense. I don't know if it was, I don't remember who cleaned that up. I don't think it was Dexter. I don't even know, guys. It might have been a combination of Sanborn and Austin Booker. It could have been that. Who knows? But anyways, move on to the rushing. Running back David Montgomery had 21 carries for 88 yards, 4.2 yards a carry. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 carries for 87 yards at 9.7 yards a carry. He had a fumble too as well. I was kind of wondering why Gibbs wasn't getting the ball as much. in this football game. Um, Usually, Ben Johnson's been pretty even keel. With these two guys, one guy gets 13, one guy gets 11, one guy gets 16, one guy gets 14. I don't know if this was because Montgomery was playing his old team. He wasn't the hot hand. He was running well. Don't get me wrong. He was running really well. Even when he was stopped, it looked like he was moving forward, David Montgomery. But Jahmyr Gibbs was slicing and dicing through that Bears defense. 9.7 yards a carry. That's crazy. He was popping off runs at an average of almost 10 yards a carry. That's crazy. So I'm not sure what was going on there. They ran the ball a lot, 30 times. With a couple sweeps too. J-Mo had two rushes for 18 yards, and Goff even had 1 yard for 1 yard a carry. A J-Mo with 9 yards per pop there. But we had 194 yards on the ground. That's as a unit. So that's very impressive again. No touchdowns though. No touchdowns from Gibbs. No touchdowns from Montgomery. It was all through the air from Jared Goff. He was at 61%, like I said. So we'll go to the receiving. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown had 5 catches for 73 yards, 14.6 yards a pop, 7 targets as well. Wide receiver Tim Patrick, 2 catches for 48 yards. He made some big gains, 24 yards a pop, 3 targets. Running back David Montgomery had 3 catches, 36 yards, 12 yards a catch, 3 targets. Wide receiver Jameson Williams had 5 catches for 28 yards, 5.6 yards a catch as well. Oh, and I forgot to say, 7 targets for J-Mo. Crazy jump too, seeing J-Mo. I believe it was on I don't remember if that was on a sweep or a catch, but he ended up hurdling a guy. He literally hurdled, like he almost jumped over a full human being because the guy didn't even really get that low. He was just starting to go low, and J-Mo jumped him and cleared him. Like, thank God he didn't hit him and do the spin like we saw Hawkinson happen a few years back when Hawkinson was here and shattered his ankle, whatever he did. He ended up getting hurt because he did come down hard too. He came down hard on that knee. He got right back up though, man. He's electric. And I know he threw that ball, and I think it was Tyreek Stevens. I don't remember who even threw the ball. He threw it at some Chicago Bear on the sidelines. He ended up getting pushed, tripped, whatever. He fell down. Someone chirped him. He ended up throwing the ball in his face. We got 15 yards for it. I'm not here to rip him apart for it, but it's just he just does these little things that annoy everybody. He's so electric with the ball in his hand. It's almost as if it just goes away. But he's got to be really careful about that stuff, man. He's got to be careful. I'm sure he's going to get a fine for it. I'm sure he'll get a fine, and I don't think he'll get suspended. There's people calling for his head to trade him, to release him. No, I'm not at that stage, man. Not at that stage. He threw a ball, hit someone in the face. Keenan Allen tossed the ball at a ref yesterday too. He got 15 yards. So it happens. It's in the moment. You know what I mean? It does happen. So, but just got to be careful, man. We don't want that happen in a crucial moment, and that was a crucial time too. That was crucial because that was in the fourth quarter, I believe, too, as well. And we needed to get some points on that board. So it was a crucial, we wanted to run some more clock off, but it was crucial. And it didn't almost cost us the game, but it kind of did in a way, right? So, but hey, man, J-Mo, he's great with the ball in his hand, man. Running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 catches, 17 yards, 8.5 yards a catch, 4 targets. Tight end, Brock Wright, 1 catch for 13 yards, 13 yards a pop, 1 target. Tight end, Sam Laporta, 3 catches, 6 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns, 2 red zone touchdowns, which were nice. 2 yards a pop, 6 targets. They were trying to get him the ball too with those 6 targets, and it's just better. It's just nice to get in the end zone for Laporta. I love seeing that. Got to get him going. Jake Bates, he was 3 for 4 on field goals with a 48 long. I believe the one he missed was 45 plus. So he's not perfect anymore, man. Jake Bates having a great year though, but he did miss a field goal, and he was 2 for 2 in extra points. Now our defense, safety Brian Branch, 6 tackles, 1 quarterback hit. Cornerback Khalil Dorsey, 5 tackles, tackle for loss, and a pass breakup. Linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez, 5 tackles, 1 pass deflection. We're going to miss him. Safety Kirby Joseph, 4 tackles, 1 pass breakup. Nose tackle had a fantastic game. DJ Reader, 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks. Yeah, he had a really nice game and got a game ball from Campbell. Linebacker Jack Campbell had 3 tackles and a quarterback hit. And no, that hit was not dirty or illegal on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was clearly in bounds, and Jack Campbell went low, but he was a runner at the time, and he hit him on the hip. He hit him right on the hip. There's nothing wrong with that. Even Tony, at first it looked bad. Tony Romo and Jim Nantz were like, oh, and so do I. It was just the way, it was the way Caleb kind of moved. He kind of tried to juke, and then he was going out of bounds, and then it almost like he wanted to go upfield more. So it did look bad at first, but it wasn't illegal. It wasn't dirty. It was clean. There was no penalty. You see the Chicago Bears sideline freaking out. I thought he put on a little bit of a show too. I thought he kind of torqued his body a little bit. He's rubbing his knee afterwards after he threw the touchdown pass on the very next play, rubbing his knee, thinking he's Isaiah Thomas. Give me a break. And on that touchdown throw, which was a nice throw, don't get me wrong. It was a good throw. Keenan Allen made a nice move, got in the end zone. There was clear holding on that play. El Quadin Muhammad got absolutely mugged on that play. Hell, it felt to me like Darnell Wright got away with a lot of holding yesterday. The right tackle. I felt like he was jumping a little bit. He was kickbacking a little bit too much, a little bit too quick. He was timing it, he was timing it to where he was thinking the snap was going to come. But I thought he jumped a little bit, and he holds every play, it felt like. And I know they're not going to call it every single time. I get it. But he got away with a lot, it felt like. So Jack Campbell, 3 tackles. He had a quarterback hit. Defensive end, Zadarius Smith, I thought he had a great game too. 3 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits, 1.5 sacks. Big one in the fourth quarter where Wright actually just stood there. I actually thought Zadarius Smith jumped offside. It still looked to me like he jumped offside, but he just timed it perfectly, and Wright just stood there. Wright just stood there, and he just blew right by him, and then he got the sack, and he had a half a sack a little bit later in that game too. Defensive tackle, Ali McNeil had 2 tackles, tackle for loss. Defensive end, El Quadin Muhammad had a tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 1 quarterback hit, and a sack. Josh Pascal, 1 tackle for loss. Cornerback, rookie Terrion Arnold had a tackle and 1 pass breakup. And then linebacker Ezekiel Turner had a tackle and a quarterback hit. And then we see linebacker David Long get in a few snaps too as well. He had a couple tackles as well. So we're going to be seeing some of these guys are going to step in for Malcolm. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the preview for the next game, the Packer game. It'd be David Long. We just saw them bring in Quan Alexander. What he has left, I don't know. We'll talk about that. But let's talk about some team stats really quick, and then we'll go over the game really fast, and that's it. Team stats, first downs, we'll do the Bears first. They had 17. Third downs, they were 7 for 15. Fourth down, 0 for 2 for the Bears. Rushing, 78 yards. Passing, 223. Total yards, 301. Sacks and yards, they had 2 sacks, a loss of 10 yards. Interceptions thrown, 0. Punts and average, they punted 4 times for 55.8 yards a punt. I think that's that rookie punter over there, that Tyler kid, whatever his name is, Terry Tyler, whatever. He's got a howitzer for a leg. He does. Penalties and yardage, they had 8 penalties of 78 yards. Fumbles and fumbles lost, 0-0 for the Bears. Possession, 24 minutes, 46 seconds. Us, the Lions, we had 25 first downs. Third down efficiency, we were 5 for 14. Fourth down, we were 1 for 1. Rushing, 194. Passing, 211. Total yards, 405. See, it's not a bad day from the offense. I don't know why people keep saying that we had a bad day. People are like, oh, this offense is it's regressing. We're not going to put up 40 a game. We're not going to put 50 points a game. It's not going to happen. It's good that we're doing things like that, man, but it's not going to be common. So stop bitching, Lions fans, about this. We're putting up still good points and yards. So I don't understand what we're getting upset about here. Sacks, yards. 5 sacks for 33 yards. Interceptions thrown, Goff threw 0. Punts and average, we only punted twice for 50 yards a pop. Good job, Jack Fox. Penalties and yards, 6 penalties for 79 yards. And that's another thing, too. People are saying that the refs were on our side. They had 8 penalties. We had 6. Get over yourselves. Fumbles and fumbles lost. We had 2 fumbles, but only 1 lost. I don't remember who lost the ball. Oh, Gibbs. Tyreek Stevenson did make a really nice play on Gibbs. And Gibbs has been really well with ball security this year. He's been really well, man. He's got to hold on to that ball in that red zone, though. We were going to go in for a score in that second half. I think that game would have really took the air out of Chicago. Yeah, it was a nice play by Tyreek Stevenson. It was nothing that Gibbs can do. There really was nothing that Gibbs can do. So you can't really criticize him, but he needs that ball security a little bit tighter. But it was a nice play. It was a great play, actually, by Stevenson. And then possession, 35 minutes, 14 seconds. And we had the possession about 11 minutes, almost 11 minutes more than the Bears. And the up next versus the Packers Thursday. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, man, this was one of those games, guys. Again, it was almost like the Houston game, but in reverse order. You know, I think we came out firing. We looked pretty good. A couple field goals though. You know, that's like you're a little bit worried when you see your kicker coming out that much, kicking field goals because we have such a dominant offense. Doesn't mean we have a bad offense or we're struggling in any type of way. But you like to see touchdowns, you know, and their defense, Chicago's defense, kept them in the game. They kept them in the game in the first half because it could have been really ugly. It could have got really ugly, man. We could have went into that. We could have went into that halftime almost at like 20, almost at 30-0. You know, they held them pretty good. They held them good, man. A couple field goals, the fumble, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it could have been a lot uglier for the Chicago Bears going into that halftime, and that air would have been just gone from that locker room. So kudos to their defense, man. And some other defensive guys that I was worried about made some plays, man. I like Kevin Byard. He made some plays. Gervon Dexter Sr. They got a core. You know, they got a core of guys that, you know, and their head coach got fired today too as well. Eberflus, that was all over the place the game prior to kickoff. It was like Eberflus is going to get fired if he loses in Detroit, blah, blah, blah. And it happened. They literally got rid of him. He's gone. But, you know, I thought their defense kept them in it for the most part. In the second half, it was different. You know, we scored a few points. I believe we only scored 10 points in the second half. They went on a run, man. They had like 2 or 3 straight touchdowns. They were playing better on defense. You know, I guess you could say we were struggling a little bit on offense. You know, scoring when we really needed to, though. You know, getting those 10 points was really big, obviously. Their defense was playing well. I thought we were running the ball well all game. We were running. Goff looked comfortable. You know, 61% of his throws were completed. That's low for Goff, but it's not bad. You want it to be a tad higher. But a couple touchdowns for Sam Laporta. Like I said, O-line played pretty good. I thought Zeitler had a nice game. I thought Sewell played well. They only had a couple sacks. How many sacks did they have? Totally. Goff was sacked how many times? Yeah, Goff was sacked. Yeah, he was sacked a couple times, man. You know, 1 sack, 1.5 sack, 3 sacks. Looks like he got sacked 3 times. So 3 times, right? Yeah. So I got the 1 sack here. I'm all over the place, guys. Half a sack. That's right, man. You know that like a couple sacks. Not too bad. Not too bad for a team that, you know, usually Montez Sweat is doing really well. Not having a greatest year this year, DeMarcus Walker, but Gervon Dexter was a guy that can get to the quarterback, and he did. You know, but it wasn't a pretty win, guys. I know a lot of people are really are starting to worry about this team. I get it. The only thing I worry about is injuries. The only thing I worry about is injuries, and they're piling up like sky high. They're piling up sky high now. Now, obviously, we're going to have some guys coming back. When that is, it's not a little bit till down the road. So this game coming up versus the Packers, we're playing on Thursday night, another Thursday night game, or a Thursday game. We didn't play at night yesterday, but Packers played 2 on Thursday, so it's not like they're getting extra rest, right? It's not like they're getting extra rest too. But usually, I always felt that after the Thanksgiving Day game, I always felt like they gave him a little bit extra time. You know, they didn't play him until the Sunday, so they gave him like a 10-day rest period. not the case this year. I always feel like it's been more. But Packers too, so no excuses. They're coming in hot too, guys. We beat them already. They're on a win streak as well. They're playing good football. It's that's a good team. They're relatively healthy, I think, too, as well. We'll check into that, and we're not. I'll give you my analysis down the road. But this game right here against the Bears, decent in the first half, ugly in the second. I'll chalk it up as, if you want to chalk it up as luck, that's fine. With their flub at the end, not using a timeout. Eberflus, don't know what he's doing. He got himself fired. It was just, it was a little bit of a train wreck for the Chicago Bears right there. Now they got their OC fired. Shane Waldron, he's gone. Now they got their head coach fired. Who knows? All kinds of rumors about who's going to go there next. I'm not getting into that just yet. But I thought this game, it wasn't a very pretty win, but to the win, it's a W in the win column. 11-1, guys. We are an 11-1 ball club. They are 4-8. The Bears are pretty much done, but we're not out of it. Like, we're not locked up for that playoff seed yet. I think some things got to happen this weekend in order for the Lions to make the playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs. I forget what the scenario is: a Seattle loss, an Arizona loss, or something like that. But NFC North's not locked up yet. Green Bay and Minnesota will not go away, and the NFC number 1 seed is not locked up either. There's guys out there. I was getting an argument even today, man. I shouldn't be talking about this right now. I should have ended this video a little bit ago. But there was guys telling me, "Oh man, I looked on the playoff machine on the computer, and we should sit guys against the Buffalo Bills because that's what the playoff machine says." Like, well, we're not sitting anybody. Like, you're not sitting anybody right now in a race like we are. Thinking what the this guy had, because the playoff machine said that this was going to happen. That's all prediction. It's a computer. You're not going. You can't go off of what a computer says. And Dan Campbell is not sitting anybody right now. I know this was brought up because of our injuries. He's like, play everybody against Green Bay and sit everybody against Buffalo because we're probably going to lose that game. No, you don't sit your starters. That's not what you do. Not until you have things locked up. Like, if you got the North locked up, fine. If you got the NFC one seed locked up, fine. But you don't just do it to do it because you're trying to save guys. It doesn't work like that. Nothing is locked up just yet. We can't predict what's going to happen in the future. If we could, if the playoff machine was right, they wouldn't even play games. So, totally off topic, guys, but you guys know me. If you ever want to see my rants, I go on them a lot on Facebook. I get in a lot of arguments with people. I'm my own worst enemy. I really am, man, because I just can't stand some of the people that talk on there about just the silliest things. It's just crazy, man. It gives me nervous tics. You know what I mean? It just gives me the tics. But thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry again about the no preview with the Bears game. I had it even written out too as well. I could do it if you want me to, if you really want me to, but it'll be in reverse order because I'm uploading this one too right away. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you hanging in there. Don't forget to hit that sub down there. Bang, bang, bang. Give me a sub, and don't forget to hit the notification bell up top with a ring, ding, ding. And don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Appreciate it, guys. Big win, 11-1. Playing right around the corner next. We're playing in 7 more days. Playing the Packers. Grit. Troy versus everybody. Let's go. Bam.